Hey guys, welcome to my channel. This is your host Natasha, mental health consultant. This channel is all about mental health, and I'm going to be giving you guys tips on how you can be intentional in improving your mental health and well-being in order to achieve the vision you have for your life. So if you haven't watched my intro video for CBT, please watch that before this one, because then you'll really understand what I'm trying to explain in this video. I'm going to link that video below. Now, for this video, we're going to be talking about what I had mentioned in that previous video, the unhelpful thought categories identified by CBT. It's called Cognitive Distortions, but I don't really like that term too much. I feel like it's more so unhelpful thought patterns. It's something that all of us use. As I mentioned in the previous video, if you find yourself using some of these things, it doesn't mean there's anything wrong with you. We all use unhelpful thoughts in different areas based on our past experiences, adverse experiences, trauma, how we grew up, different things like that. We all just use some categories maybe more than others. And so the purpose of this video is just to help us become more aware so that we can overcome it and really live the type of lives we want and have the sort of experiences and relationships that we want. Now, the list of unhelpful thought categories is quite extensive. So for the purposes of this video, I've just chosen a few of them to go over that are a bit more popular, more common. Now, one form of unhelpful thing is called magnification and minimization. It's basically where we magnify or minimize the importance of an event. Let's say we magnify the importance of our mistakes or minimize the importance of an achievement. So let's say, for instance, I lose my job and then I think my career is over. That would be an example of magnification. Or let's say I started my own business and things are going really well, and I minimize it by saying, I just got lucky because the economy is really good and it'll probably tank as more competition begins to emerge. Now, similarly to that is catastrophizing, where something happens and I focus on the worst possible scenario. So let's say I lose my job and I immediately think I and my family are going to be homeless. Another example would be overgeneralization. So it's basically where I make a broad statement based on a single or maybe just a couple or a few different events. So let's say I'm working at a job, for instance, as a server, and I drop my tray of glasses, plates, and all that. And then I say, I'm always so clumsy. I can never seem to not break things. Now, another one that's quite popular is personalization, where I take responsibility for events that are outside of me, outside of my control, and I believe that I have caused it in some way. Now, so let's say, for instance, my child comes home upset, and I perceive that my child is always upset. And then I think to myself, my child is always upset. If I was just a better mother, he or she would be happier. Another example would be magical thinking, where I believe that certain things that I do are going to influence other situations even when they seem unrelated. So let's say I've just lost a loved one and I begin to believe that I must have done something to deserve it. Maybe if I had just been kinder to him or her, then this wouldn't have happened. Another popular one is jumping to conclusions, where we basically interpret what an event means with little or no evidence. So an example of this would be, my partner isn't texting me as much as he or she used to. My partner must be cheating. A similar thought category to that would be mind reading, where we basically believe that we can interpret the thoughts of someone else without enough evidence. So an example of that would be, let's say I go to a job interview and I don't get the job, so I start to think, I didn't get the job I applied for, they probably think I'm incompetent. Another similar thought category would be fortune telling, where we believe that we can predict the outcome of a situation and it's going to be negative without very much evidence. So let's say I write a math exam and I predict I'm going to fail that exam. Emotional reasoning. So the way emotional reasoning works is that we assume things are going to be a certain way because of the way that we feel. If I feel a certain way, then it is that way. So let's say, for instance, I woke up in a bad mood and then I start to think to myself, something bad is going to happen today. Now, another very popular one is disqualifying the positive, where we basically ignore all the positives in a situation and only pay attention to the negative. So let's say, for instance, I just had a performance evaluation at work and my boss listed 5 areas of strength, and then gave me one area that he or she felt I could improve on. And I then began to feel anger, sadness, frustration about that one critique and ignore all the 5 strengths that my boss had mentioned. All or nothing thinking is another popular one, where we basically think of things in absolutes. So when we find ourselves using the words always, never, every, things like that. So let's say, for instance, I asked my friend for help with something specific and my friend was not able to, and I start to think people are never there for me when I need them. Should statements, the belief that things should be a certain way. So for instance, let's say I believe that friends should check on you regularly to see how you're doing. And if they don't, then they probably aren't real friends. Okay guys, so that concludes our overview of some of the unhelpful thought categories identified through CBT. The purpose of this video is just to help us become more aware of it, because when we're aware of it, we can then explore alternatives, and that's going to help us with the D part of the ABCDEs of CBT. So please take a look at the third part of this video. I've linked it below. That's actually where I'm going to pose a challenge to you guys on how you can actually put CBT into practice in your life and see how much it can really help reduce your stress, improve your mood, improve your relationships, give you greater sense of control over your emotions and different things in your life. And I would love to hear about your experiences afterwards. Okay guys, so if you enjoyed this video, please let me know by hitting the thumbs up icon to like it, and subscribe below to see more of my videos, and be sure to turn your notifications on, that way you're informed as new videos are released. I'm also very interested in ideas for upcoming videos, so if there are any topics you want to know more about, please post them below. Okay guys, thanks for watching and I will catch you at the next video.